you can survive temporary pain, on the other side of temporary pain, you get to meet another version of yourself. It's a pretty powerful thing. I only have 2 talents. I'm not particularly smart. I'm well read, but I'm not particularly bright. I don't think I'm wired with a whole lot of self-confidence, maybe even to this day. Yet I coach some of the top human beings in sports, entertainment, politics. I'm one of them. How'd that happen? I got 2 talents. Want to know what they are and how I got them? You curious? I'll tell you how I got them first. Let me tell you what they are. I love people. And I'm really present with human beings when I'm with them. And they feel something. I read them well. That's why that's why my podcast is different. You can see someone get interviewed on one show and on mine, it's totally different. Matthew McConaughey said, hey man, I've been interviewed 3,000 times in my life. This is the best interview of my life. Just happened. I have a presence with people and a love for humans, and I read them real well. There's an energy you'd feel if you were with me. You'd probably feel like you're the most important person in the world, because I think you are. I want to remind you something about you, just so you know. No one's told you in a while. You were born to do something great with your life. Like, just listen to me. You were born to do something great with your life. And you may not know it when you're doing it, just like that guy that helped my dad get sober. He didn't know it at the time, but he was. I'm good with people. Second thing, I'm a good communicator. Those are my 2 skills. That's it. That's it. Let me tell you what they come from. Did I mention I was the son of an alcoholic and a drug addict? Comes from that. I have a mom and 3 sisters, and when my dad would go on these drinking binges, he would say, hey, when I'm 5, you're the man of the house, boy. You take care of your mom, your sisters when I'm gone. I would literally sleep on the inside of our house, blocking the front door so the bad guys couldn't get in. The Bible talks about the sins of the father. When my son Max was born, he grew up in a loving, beautiful home with an unbelievable mom and a decent dad and me. And when he was 3 years old, I found him sleeping in front of our front door. It's caught, not taught. It's in your DNA, it's in your legacy. Whether you're happy, whether you win, whether you're prosperous. So when my dad would come back, I would have to read my dad when he would come through the front door. I had to read his physiology, his language, his tie. I didn't know whether he was drunk. Because if he was drunk, I would say, Mama, go upstairs and take a bath and take Mimi and Andrea and Erica with you. And I would be left downstairs with this man. I will never talk about what would happen when I was left down there with him. Never will. But I would have to read him. So I became unbelievably present with people in that moment. Little did I know God was giving me the gift of that terror and anxiety and worry that he was developing in this little boy, the greatest gift he would use in his life to reach millions of other human beings. On the other side of that temporary pain, as a grown man, I would use that skill to change lives and to make lots of money. The second thing that would happen is if my dad was drinking, Mama would go upstairs. If he was sober, we would just have dinner. But most of the time, if he was drinking, I would have to then talk to him and change his state and his physiology. I'd say, Daddy, yeah. My whole goal was for him not to get to the liquor cabinet. Because if he went to the liquor cabinet, even though he was already drunk, my dad would have 8 Beefeater gins back to back. Well, I thought every dad did that. In fact, in baseball, I wore number 8 my entire career because of that. I was familiar with 8. I see 8s everywhere because of that. So I had to try to get him away from there. So I would tell him, hey, Daddy, yeah, how was your day? That's all right. I'd say, well, I hit a home run in baseball, and I hit a triple to left center. I got a 93 on my spelling test. You did? Yeah. Where'd you hit the triple? I was left center, and I slid in head first. Jimmy's tag was late. It was? That's awesome. So did you have any good meetings, Daddy? And I would get him over to the couch. He goes, well, one of them was... And if I could get him there for an hour or so, he'd sober up, and nothing bad would happen. And I could have Mama and my sisters come back downstairs. Those 2 skills, that surviving that temporary pain. See, all pain is temporary. Everything in our life is temporary, with the exception of our souls. Even our bodies are temporary. I was with my father when he passed away. I was holding him in my arms 2 years ago. And I watched my dad leave, even though his body was still there. It's all pain's temporary. If you can survive it, and you can know that, on the other side of every pain you go through, you will develop new versions of you. This market's not real good, is it? Some of you will quit because of it. Some of you won't recruit. Some of you will make excuses. Some of you will go, nope, I'm gaining market share right now. I'm going to cash all the checks in 2 years when things turn around. Because on the other side of this temporary pain, you'll meet something. I've developed the ability to...
What would be a...
Well, I'll go back. Sorry. I can't get to my slides, guys. There we go.